we can't talk about performance without having a specific, like a clear goal.
It's like good enough, so you gotta be great, and I'ma do whatever it takes. Doing what I love in life, and I'll pay the price, and not stopping even if the shit kills me, even if it kills me.
And 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, and welcome to MattGron Talks. This is episode 155, and my name is Mattias Gronborg, aka MattGron, and here I share my scaling up journey, building my company from nothing to something. And of course, with me as usual, my dear friend and co-host Svea Malina Landshoff. How are you doing, Svea?
Better. You know, it's been 2 days with my foot. I managed to go to the washroom and back today with my crickets. But I think it will be a couple more days and I'll be hiking again. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Mattias, and welcome everyone else. And special welcome if you're new here. This is where entrepreneurship runs smack into reality. And we actually do that 3 times per week because we have episodes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we do have a whole framework in place. Mattias, do you want to share that?
Yes, I can. We have a framework for you guys. To make sure we run smack into leadership, entrepreneurship, and my weekly self-inventory. So every Monday, I share how I'm growing as a leader and a human being. And then I also talk about every Wednesday what I'm learning in the entrepreneurial process, scaling up my company. And then every Friday, I share what I could have done differently, and I also talk about stuff I have learned during the week, and we are celebrating the victories.
Best part.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Wednesday today, so let's talk business, and today I want to talk people. And
people business.
Yes, people business.
Yeah.
And today I want to talk about when teams don't perform in the best possible way. Or let's say it how it is, poorly performing teams.
So what do you mean with poorly performance?
That is
like
a good,
not reaching goals.
That's a good question. Yeah, I think it's focus on if the goals are not reached. And that could be the whole team or just like one of the teams. But first of all, have you been in situations where you were facing that problem?
That's something I always run into. Now you say teams. Let's talk about performance. And I think a very important ingredient here when we talk about performance is to realize we can't talk about performance without having a specific, like a clear goal. I think that's the first thing to remember.
Yeah.
And then you need that specific goal, and then you need a measurable goal, and then you need a goal that is attainable, and it must be realistic, and then you must also have a time-bound goal, which means, we need a deadline, right?
Yeah, of course.
So if we have all these ingredients, then we can talk about performance.
Okay.
And not hitting goals or a goal is part of a business every day, and especially like in the role as I have when I'm, operating my company. So performance, we always talk about good performance and bad performance.
Okay. Now, what you say with the things you face on a regular basis, that sounds like, okay, like some of the goals were not met, but have you also been in a situation where like it was like for an extended period of time and like a lot of things were going wrong within the team? Have you faced that situation as well?
Yes.
And what did you do about that? Like, how did you address that? Were you like straight on like, so, okay, guys, this is what's going on, what's happening? Or did you keep an eye on it? What was your way to deal with that problem?
So I think the first thing, what I look at, if I look at performance, I always look at the goal. Okay, is the goal clear? So, if you are not performing well, according to what you promised me last week, Svea, then we need to look at, okay, is the goal not clear?
Yeah.
So then we go through these criteria I said in the beginning. And, then we agree, okay, it's clear. Or maybe it was not, then we need to update it so it's clear next week, right? But if, let's say, the goal is clear and you agree, like, it is clear, then we could actually start talking about why are we not getting there. And then there is actually two things. There is behaviors. We can talk about, like, okay, what is the successful behaviors we need to create to be able to move towards the goal? Like, if it's sales, like what kind of activities, what kind of footwork do we have in the sales process? And then it's up to you. You can be honest and tell me, what have you done? And then we can start looking at the attitudes. So do you have good attitudes or bad attitudes? So that's what I do. I look at attitudes and behaviors. So it's again, you are asking me the question, like what I'm doing to turn it around. But the big question is, what should you do to turn it around?
Yeah, that's true. It sounded like now this is on a very individual level, what you described, right? That you go to an individual person and talk to that one. Yeah. Okay. I think in my perspective, I was thinking of like a whole team. Let's say
but isn't it individuals in a team?
Yeah, that was what I thought when you were going through the process as well. I thought it makes sense to. You cannot really look at the team when you're not looking at the individuals.
There might be a team leader there, right?
So was that the first person you would go to talk to the team leader and figure out what's going on there?
The first thing is the goal. So now we are talking about another very important thing. Who is responsible?
True, yeah.
Everyone at Igomon, they have goals, clear targets and priorities every day. You can't work here without having clear priorities and targets. Yeah. And that's also to create, responsibility for yourself and also the team.
Yeah, I think responsibility is an important word here, that to figure out who is taking responsibility and who can change something that it goes better.
Yeah. So if I turn around the question to you, so if let's say if we have a specific goal, it's very measurable, it's attainable, and it's also realistic, okay? So it's not an unrealistic goal, it's realistic. Yeah. And we also have it's time bound. So let's say we are going to achieve this before next month. So what do we have left to talk about?
The attitudes, I would say. That might be then a problem on my end when everything else is checked, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It could also be the goal is not realistic. I don't know, if you are bench pressing 50 kilo today and you're aiming to bench press 200 kilo next week, that's not realistic, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But if we set a realistic goal for next month, let's say 55 kilo, and then you and me, we have a checkup on that goal next month, and you didn't do it, and then I start ask about your behavior. Okay, did you how often did you go to the gym? And you one time. Okay. Might be something here to talk about. So, and in the last episode, you asked me about being a leader or a boss, and I said I really need to practice delegating things and tasks and responsibilities internally, and not be a controlling micromanagement boss. What we are talking about now, you have a SMART goal and you own the responsibility. It's ownership. So I'm coaching you to be able to turn it around. Yeah. In the end, you will turn it around. You will show up at the gym.
Yeah. That's interesting how you put that, because my question was how did you turn it around? But it's true. In the end, it's not you need to turn it around. It's the team who needs to do that.
Exactly. I'm not can't throw magic spells on on stuff. But I mean, of course, on my end as a CEO operating the business, I have also responsibilities
Of course. Yeah.
for that. I need to hire the right team leader.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about teams here now.
Yeah.
So yeah, the magic word here is responsibility, I think.
And when you from your experience with Algomun and the teams and the people you had over time, and when you had these conversations, do you see a trend? Maybe there is no trend, but do you see maybe, okay, a lot of times when there's something not performing well, it's usually this and this, or it's usually this and this. Like, for example, like, yeah, maybe the goal was not realistic, or it is, the time frame wasn't. Do you understand what I mean? Like, is there some kind of trend that you see? It's usually that issue.
I think this really ties into one of the bottlenecks we are trying to solve this year, 2022, and that's the leadership. I have been talking about that before. We need everyone, all the leaders in the leaders group to be able to really understand the mission and communication, because if you understand the mission and communication, you are able to really set clear goals, because you know where you're going. Right? So and very often when we end up in poorly performance, it's because the goal is not clear.
Okay.
And over the years, I also have learned that it's so important when you set goals. Today, I use like a document. Every person I coach, they have like a one-page goal-setting document. And every Friday, we look at all of these goals and talk about the performance and the attitude and behavior. Then it's not unclear what the goal is, because we are looking at them every week.
Turns like into a habit, like brushing your teeth, I feel. It's just getting natural to do it.
Yeah. So I think, you asked what is the common thing that might end up as poorly performance and why. And I think it definitely that we are not, like we are not looking at the same goal.
Yeah.
And things happen during the week, and you did other things instead, or
interesting. And I know that you're working on that right now with the leadership, get everyone on the same page and improve communication, as always. So important.
Communication.
Okay, Mattias, I think that was actually it for today. Thank you for sharing your insights. It's always interesting for me, who is not a boss, still to learn how it looks like on the other end. And I like how you said, like, I'm not turning it around, it's them, but you need to find out what the problem is. And responsibility and communication. Cool. 2 keywords this episode. Okay. Do you have anything to add, or should we do the wrap up?
I can wrap up and say that it's super important to set smart goals together with the people you coach and lead. So make sure they are specific, measurable, attainable, and also realistic and time bound.
Yeah.
Because then you can actually coach on behaviors and attitudes. So
that's why I called them smart goals.
That's why I call it smart goals.
SMRT. Now I got it. Okay, yeah, that's a good.
It's not something I invented. It's a common
technique,
goal-setting framework.
All right. Yeah, thank you for summing that up again. See you guys in the next one, I hope. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment if you have anything you would like to know, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. See you in the next one.
See you in the next one, guys.
Bye-bye.